up here?
Depends on how hierarchical you feel.
You want to look down on us?
All right, hey guys, this is my first PorcFest, by the way. I don't know this is like incredible to me. Like, I'm at loss of words sometimes, walking around, everyone meeting everybody and whatnot. It's like seeing everyone that I know on the internet, but in person. It's just blowing my mind sometimes. But my whole purpose of my speech here is really just that everyone should really tell their story, because it's such a unique lifestyle that we all live, especially in this community. If you live in New Hampshire, it's a world of difference from seeing what it is online. But anyways, a little bit of background story of me. My name is Rob Mathias. I signed the Free State Project over a year ago. I was actually inspired by Derek Chase from this crime spree that what made me sign. But I didn't really make the move like I needed to get here until I saw what happened with Volcano, Bearcat, and where Free Staters are labeled as terrorists. That was really my, like, I gotta get there, the shit's in the fan, I gotta, you know, I need to be a part of this. I'm a voluntarist. I also do activism when I can. I try to, I do photography. I blog for Free Keen. I do a YouTube channel called Volunteers Rebel. I also have a podcast / YouTube show called The Rebel Love Show, which this man right here is my co-host. And we do that once a week, and it's really dedicated to everyone here, because we're not preaching to the to like wake people up. It's to the choir. It's really just to illustrate what life is like here. So it's like a lifeline to people that have not made the move. Watch our show, learn what it's like living in the community, because we try to give aspects of what it's like day to day living here, and the stories of different people that are living in the community. So everyone here has such a unique story that really needs to be told, because it's so fascinating the way people live their lives in this community compared to what it's like outside of New Hampshire. Now, for me, the story here is a big crux of what I'm really passionate about, because we're building this free society here in the Shire. And it's not something that you can even really see in a YouTube video or a podcast. Like, the biggest thing that was really motivating me to move was I friend bombed everyone. I mean, anyone that was in a Free State Project group or whatnot, I friended them. And I was basically living vicariously through their posts before I moved, because it gave me an idea of what life is like here. And it does piss me off when there's a Free Stater that lives here that didn't accept my friend request, and I see them in person and then they add me. It kind of a little pisses me off a little bit, because I'm like, you have no idea from someone on the outside that is already ingrained into the culture of being a Free Stater, not having that access. It's just making a Facebook post about, you know, going to a meetup with, you know, 20 or 30 people. Oh my God! Like, I was going to Ron Paul meetups in Chicago where 8 people would show up out of 8 million people in the county. You know, here I can post on a Facebook group that, hey, there's a potential new mover coming, let's go have dinner, and 20 people will show up. That's from one little Facebook post. That doesn't happen anywhere else. And it's something that you would see if you're on Facebook and you add other friends, and, you know, it's just posting what you're doing. People will see what that story is like, and they'll be inspired to see, you know, people really living free and doing what they can, living free here. And then you have the whole agorism movement, especially in Manchester, but across the state, where you have agorist cab services and multiple agorist food services where they'll deliver for you anytime at night and whatnot. There's agorist repair places, and basically you can survive almost within the community doing agorism, because there's enough people that want to support a business outside the state. But again, that's something you don't see anywhere else except for in New Hampshire. And not enough people are talking about what they're doing publicly in order to do that. That's why I'm really telling you, you need to tell the story of your life, your move, how you got here, and what you're doing once you get here, because it's such a unique lifestyle that does not exist outside of New Hampshire. Now, again, with agorism, that's the biggest thing that's blowing me away here than anything else. Seeing people work outside of the system and doing whatever they can. You feel that passion from other people that are living here. You see they're doing everything they can to work outside the state, and that's something, it's like, they're not just talking the talk, they're walking the walk. And that is something you do not see outside, and it's something that I'm trying to tell the story of, you know, I'll take a photo of, like, I just ordered, you know, I just paid for some crab cakes with Bitcoin. I mean, come on, that doesn't exist anywhere else, you know, and Mateus, isn't it a shame that that company, they're not around at the moment?
Yeah, no, that they couldn't turn a profit, I guess.
Are they coming back?
I hope so. But
I hope so too. At any rate, there's always going to be more. The market will demand that they come back.
Jalapeno poppers are too good to lay.
They were too good. They were too good to go away. But again, the whole thing with agribusiness, you're not seeking permission from the state, and you see that here, which is amazing. Plus the activism that goes on here. I mean, I'm a volunteer, so I don't want the state to exist, but at the same time, I'm not against anarchists running for state house and whatnot. You know, there's a great anarchist in the state house now, like Mark Warren and Emily Sandblade. And you see what they're doing, and you see all these politicals going, but at the same time, they're associating with the civil disobedience crowd, and the aggers crowd, and the Bitcoin crowd, and they're all working for the same purposes of living free. And you have this community, and just talking about it, being open on the internet about it, is a huge deal, especially for me. I literally live vicariously through all these posts from people. Let me see here. But like, living here, you're surrounded by people that just want to be passionate about living free, and you see that. You gotta tell the story. And again, another aspect of this community that I try to tell in a lot of my posts and what I do, we talk about on our show all the time, and Mateus was on our show about it, Bitcoin. Bitcoin flows here. I've talked to multiple people today that don't live here, and they're saying, yeah, I just did my first Bitcoin transaction in person. I do Bitcoin transactions in person every day. Every day I'm doing something. If you're going out to dinner with a bunch of Free Staters and you don't have enough Federal Reserve notes in your wallet, you're like, hey, can someone cover my tab? I'll pay you in Bitcoin. I've never had one person say no, not once. There's, again, all the agribusinesses throughout Manchester, they accept Bitcoin. There's business that accepts Bitcoin in person. It is a normal thing in this community to use Bitcoin. It's not unnormal, like, oh my God, I just used Bitcoin for the first time buying coffee or something like that. No, that's a normal occurrence with the Shire Co-op and everything else. You pay for Bitcoin. Most people prefer Bitcoin in this community than anything else. And that's something I try to tell and post. And it seems mundane. It's like people are like, why are you posting a picture of you buying something with Bitcoin? Because other people out there don't know that that's a normal thing. And I'm trying to say, like, something mundane for me, it's not mundane for someone out there. And just a picture of something buying a Bitcoin might inspire someone to come here and do the same thing. Now, the biggest reason why I want to do this talk is, again, being the media. Like, I've come up against some walls, and kind of my speech a little bit is sometimes I get upset that Free Staters aren't as public. They're very about their privacy, which I understand, I get that. But at the same time, I didn't come here to hide. You know, the state is what it is. I'm not here to hide. I'm here to tell the story. I'm here to live free now, not later, or hide within the community just to be around like-minded people, which is a great reason to be here, but be active. Even if that active, asking what can you do for the community, but even just being active is making a Facebook post about what you did today. I went with a bunch of Free Staters to a Bitcoin meetup, or, you know, there's 30 people there, or we went to a breakfast, or, you know, I helped do this activism for this person. I'm writing a blog about starting my own garden, or something along those lines. Whatever it might be, take a photo, make a Facebook page, make a Facebook post about what you're doing here, or when you're making the move. I've had multiple people come up to me throughout the week, or not the last 2 days, saying, I watched your move. It was amazing. Like, everyone, if you have not moved yet, document it. If you're gonna make the move, take photos. People love watching other people make the move. And also, word of advice, friend everyone. Go friend everyone on Facebook, make it known you're moving, because when you get here, you already have friends, and you're not gonna be like outside of the circle. Please do that, but document everything you're doing. Put it out in the open, because again, we're here not to hide. We're here to live free and inspire other people to join us. And if that's not your purpose here, I don't know what to tell you, because that's why I'm here. But being public, telling the story, you can change the perception of a lot of people. Like, add people that aren't just liberty-minded, you know, especially like friends or coworkers or whatnot. Add them, see what your life is like, inspire them to come to, especially once you come here, inspire them to come to a meetup or a Free Stater or activity going on or whatnot. Social media is huge. I'm not saying you gotta do it 24/7, I'm just saying a simple post about what you're doing in your life is a huge, huge thing, especially for the move. There's so many Free Staters out there around the country and the world, and they watch when people move. And that's another thing. Would the Free State Project even exist if there wasn't internet? I mean, I would not have discovered this if it was not for the internet. And I would have not made the friends I have here in this community if it was not for the internet. And how can any of us not post something and not use that technology to inspire other people to get here to do the exact same thing? The internet's very powerful for social media, and it should be used. Like, I would not be here. I would not know of any of this. I would still be living my old life, like in the Matrix. Like, I would jack myself because of the internet. I went all the way down, and I found here, and I found the community that I belong to. And I'm just trying to pay it forward to help other people find their place here as well. But like, you have so much technology at your hand. We're living in this age where technology is at the tip of our fingers. Right now, I use my smartphone for almost everything. All right, I'm connected to the community via Facebook. It's always with me. I can contact anyone that I need to. I can take a photo really quick, throw it up on Instagram. It goes to Twitter and Facebook. It takes like 2 seconds to do. It's there. Everyone can see it. I can take a video really quick and throw it on YouTube if I want on a Raw channel, which I've been doing throughout the week. So if you are following me, I'm taking photos left and right. I'm taking videos left and right. I'm throwing it all up on the internet so people can watch. For people that aren't here, they can see what it's like being at PorcFest. And I highly recommend that other people do the same thing. Now, but yeah, social media, use that. Use your phone. Use it. You got it, and you have a piece of technology in your hand that has access to every single human being on the planet, theoretically. You can literally use your consciousness to reach out to the world and tell like what you're doing and what's up. And other people, you're reaching out to other people. You're not just making a Facebook post. Your consciousness is reaching out into expressing ideas and your life to other people. Use it. Don't hide from it. Be social. Be a social butterfly, especially online. Don't, if you're following other Free Staters, talk to them. Say hi, like message them, comment on their posts and whatnot. Don't just like follow it. And be the same way. Post about your, what you believe in and what you want to do, and the fact that you're coming and what you're doing to get here. It's a huge thing. Now, I'm going to go on if you really want to do what I do, I want to list also, by the way, if you guys have any questions, please ask. I'll stop what I'm doing and answer a question. Technology that I use I'm a poor activist, so I'm just doing this on my side. This is my passion. I don't get paid for this. FSB doesn't pay me. I don't get any coke money. Anyways, I use my smartphone for a lot of social networking. This is like this. I feel like I don't have access to the world if I don't have this on me. I use this for everything. Well, not everything. For blogging, I use WordPress. That's my go-to for blogging. Obviously, I utilize YouTube as much as I can. I post as much videos as I can to YouTube. We in Manchester right now, me and a bunch of other fellow activists, including these two guys right here, we post a lot. Every video that we take, we post the unedited raw version straight up to youtube.com/manchraw, where it's just a bunch of multiple different activists within the community. They take the video, it's going up there. Sometimes it's irrelevant, but sometimes it is. But we throw that out there. Like case in point, a fellow activist in Manch, and using technology, using Facebook, using social media, he got pulled over by the police. All right, and he had a ride with him. He had another Free Stater in the car. That Free Stater posted to a local private Facebook group of people in the community. Within minutes, there were multiple different activists that went around cop blocking that car, coming out, videotaping the police, documenting everything that they were doing, so that he was being held accountable, the police were being held accountable. Where else does that happen? Nowhere. And there's video of that going to be up on that channel. That video will be up there. But that's just an example. I mean, he wasn't arrested or anything like that, but I don't want to go into the backstory of that. But this is an example of using social media and how it's a unique situation here that happens, but that doesn't happen pretty much anywhere else. Where else can you post on Facebook and a bunch of people come out and help you with the police? You know, that doesn't happen anywhere. You know, I mean, the fact that people cop block here is amazing in itself. But technology-wise, we use WordPress, we use YouTube. If we're going to broadcast live, Google Hangouts is great. You can broadcast with Google Hangouts live on YouTube. Really simple to do. You can, it's simplistic. If you want to make videos, yeah, you can use BitTorrent to download your, expensive, video editing software, or just download Movie Maker. It's actually pretty simple to use, and you can make decent videos with it. And also, don't ask for permission to use anyone's video. Don't ever do that. Like anything that's created in a community, if you want to make like a montage of something, or like if that's like your activism, like start editing video of different activists doing things, do it. Use any of our content or anyone else's content. Don't ever ask for permission to use media, or anything else for that matter. Other equipment that we use. Right now we have I just need a simple Sony Handycam. I bought like a little handle on there for it as well, but obviously a smartphone, if you don't have that technology to buy that. That was like a $200 camera. We use that. We use a laptop to edit video. We have a podcast studio set up. We use a Behringer mixer. It seems to be the most popular one, most podcasters. If you wanted to go down that road, I know like everyone and their mom has a podcast nowadays in the Liberty community, which I think is a great thing. I'm not knocking that. Everyone should talk about what their story is. Yes.
Aren't you a little concerned about raising your head so much online? I mean, it is known that, like, I think you mentioned the bear cat earlier.
Yes.
That, doesn't it concern you at all that you are kind of painting this big red target on your back?
They can come get me.
Woo!
I didn't come here to hide. I'm not doing anything wrong or immoral. If the state wants to use violence against me, they're going to use violence against me regardless. I'm not scared of them. If I'm going to go to jail for filming or talking to people, I'm not doing it. Even if it's agorism, like, you're not doing anything wrong. Now, mind you, fair warning, you pick and choose your battles. Okay, case in point, I'm not going full anarchist out there. I'm not driving without plates. I still have a piece of plastic in my wallet called an ID. All right, I'm picking and choosing my battles, and every activist should do that. You should be willing to take the responsibility of what happens in the activism that you do, but you should always do something. Social media is like the simplest activism you can do. You're just talking about what you're doing. It's not like you're as much as I love Rich Paul, I saw him pot in the open and whatnot, and taking that up, as much as I commend him, he's a fucking hero. That's not my activism. I'm not going to be a pot dealer, but that was him. Everyone should, but that's his battle. That was the battle he wanted to choose, and that more power to him. There's other people in here that are about right to travel, and they're right to travel activists. There's people in the community that don't have plates, don't have licenses, and they do what they can. They're not arrested at the moment, but everyone has their own activism that they're doing. But you got to pick and choose your battle. My battle is social media for sure, but I do that, and you should really tell your story. Don't be afraid. I mean, if you came here being afraid of what might happen, I want to live free now. I really do. And what am I going to do, wait forever? The state's not going to go away by itself. The more people that we can get to our side, like communicating to them what life is like here, the better. But if you want to do podcasting, some tech that you should use. We kind of go hardcore. We have a Behringer mixer, a USB one. We have 4 preamps on it, so we have 4 different mics. A great site to use, by the way. No, he's gonna bitch at me about this. Creamy Radio Audio, Michael Dean's like, this is a great blog. I know. That's whatever. Creamy D. But if not, there's also great USB mics that are just like by yourself. There's a Blue Yeti out there. That's a great mic to use to get better audio quality. Software that we use for hosting, we use Libsyn, or a lot of the podcasters use SoundCloud. You can use those to host your host a website. I mean, host the podcast, so you can get it out there so people can listen. Also, set it up on iTunes, set it up on Stitcher. And don't be afraid to, you don't have to pimp yourself out as a brand, but don't be afraid to say what you're doing. If you're doing any kind of activism, say you're doing it. Get community to help. Once you move here as well, if you're going to do something, reach out to people and say, hey, I'm doing this. Create a Facebook event and invite people to it. Don't be afraid to do that. Like, be, again, public about what you're doing, because by doing so, you're going to get more people to help out, and you're going to get more people to see what's going on. What's the point of doing activism if no one knows that you did it? All right. And another thing, in New Hampshire, there are 2 reasons why you do activism. If you're out there, outside of the Shire, outside of New Hampshire, the only reason why you're an activist in any way is to change the status quo. That is not the case here. When you're doing activism, you are doing it for 2 reasons. A, yeah, you do want to change the status quo, but you're doing it because you want to inspire other people to move, and you see, so that other people can see that something, anything, is going on here. All right, because I came from Chicago where nothing was going on ever, in regards to liberty activism. But I'm watching like Free King videos and other YouTube channels and whatnot, and I see all this stuff going on.
Yeah, I can confirm the inspirational part of the story. I travel around the country going to various libertarian events, and immediately, you're from New Hampshire, tell me whatever. And I give talks. I gave a talk on doing the in-system activism, and people in other parts of the country are flat out floored at what we're doing, and they can't believe it's real. But we tell them it's real, and I'll teach you how to do it where you live, or you can come help us. So for people who don't believe that just watching people's faces, they see that, wait, we actually can have freedom. Like, you can see that it's in reach here. That the inspirational effect of what we do, don't underestimate it. For those of you who are here, people know it, and out there, take what you learned this week and go do it where you are. Don't wait to come here. We got to make freedom happen everywhere. But I can confirm, all over the country I go, even like professional activists are blown away by what we're doing here. And really, I think they're trying to up their game to be as good as we are.
Well, yeah, I mean, if we can't at least inspire other people to move here, which is what I want to do, I don't really care. In all honesty, once I got here, I don't really care about the rest of the country. Like, just come here. Like, you're an activist in, California? Great! How'd that work out for you, man? Not well, right? Not well. But here, you can actually have an impact, and you can, bring people on board and whatnot, and inspire people to get here. Another kind of thing that I want to talk about, it's more of a side thing, but it still has to do with being in the media and like discussing what your story is I mean, I'm a big tech guy. All right, I see the rise of technology, and some people hate the singularity that's going to happen. Some people are for it. That's a whole other talk in itself. But technology is going at such a fast pace. Like, case in point, like this smartphone. This smartphone, it literally. Well, I don't have internet because there's no. I'm using T-Mobile in New Hampshire, which is my own phone. But this device has, it's probably 100 times more powerful than my desktop computer 15 years ago. All right, and it fits in my pocket. It has they can access satellites in geosynchronous orbit where I know where I am at any given time. I have friends all over the country and the
Like
world.
a million times more powerful than the computer they used to send us to the moon.
Exactly. And what is this going to look like in 10 years? Like I use this in the community. It's literally like I'm almost telepathic with everyone in the community and whatnot, because I'm always sharing my thoughts and ideas, my consciousness out there on the world. What is this going to look like in 5 years, in 10 years, even farther? What happens when wearable tech becomes an actual thing? Like Google Glass is here, but it's not really adopted yet. But imagine like activists in New Hampshire, multiple of them wearing Google Glass and being able to stream live without holding what's a camera, man? Instead of doing that, actually walking up to people and live streaming their interactions with a judge or a court or a cop, or going out and doing something like cop blocking or whatever that might be. But being able to stream that activism live and documenting it, and having other people watch it live or switch to different, if there's some big huge thing going on, again, multiple people just walking around, and you can have that live stream on some video feed. I'm just saying hypothetical, what can happen just in the near future by the end of the year or next year. Tech is going to get 10 times better, 100-fold better than what this is now. We need to embrace it. We need to allow people to see we need to be on the cutting edge of information getting out there on the internet, not be technological Luddites and not talk about what's going on here. Anyways, that's pretty much my speech. It only lasted 30 minutes. If anyone else has any questions, feel free to ask.
Do you have any suggestions for alternative social media? So for the people who don't want to be part of Google or Facebook?
I use Twitter. I'm on Twitter a lot. Follow me on Voluntary Rebel. I'm on Google Plus, which I really don't use.
Liberty.me maybe?
Liberty Me?
Maybe. I mean, it could be useful for the purposes you're trying.
Yes, but I have not purchased a membership, and I don't plan on purchasing a membership.
Maybe Diaspora? I don't know.
Diaspora or Diaspora? I don't know. Sure, if there's people on it. Here's the crux of the thing, okay? This community lives and dies on Facebook. That's where everyone is. In honesty, sometimes you have to go behind. I hate Facebook. I really do. But that's where everyone's at. So that's where I'm at. Until the day.
The idea of social media in general. That's why I asked my question.
Yeah, that's where everyone's at. I go where people are. If people abandoned YouTube or iTunes or whatever for my show and whatnot, I'll go to wherever that's at. Wherever there's people in the community that are interested in this, I will post to it. But I know there's not really much of a liberty presence on Tumblr, so someone needs to get on that.
Yeah, there is.
Is there?
Yeah, it's dominated by mutualists and other interesting kind of liberty adjacent people.
Well, what are you doing on Tumblr?
Cat pictures.
Well, you have to have cat. You're not a true anarchist if you don't post a cat picture from time to time. You have to post cat pictures.
It's a rule.
Yeah, it's a rule. You gotta have cat pictures, you gotta have bulletproof coffee, you gotta talk about poly at some point, you gotta watch Firefly. Yeah, there's a bunch of different things in this community that are
paleo.
And paleo, you can't forget paleo.
And bacon.
And bacon, yes.
True Scotsman.
Exactly. Yeah, you gotta be social. I hate Facebook, man, but I post it because literally this community is it's super Facebook central. I know there's been ideas to start up our own social network and stuff like that, but the problem is most people won't know about it, and there's not apps, and until I use my Facebook app on my phone. I'm not going on a web browser, and I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to use an app. And again, I hate it. I hate the fact that we rely on Facebook so heavily. They can just turn that off, and the majority of this community would be, they wouldn't know what's going on.
That's the idea behind Liberty Me. It's not controlled by. We're not Liberty Me. You're the customer, not the product.
I know. How many people are even on Liberty Me?
Well, you got to start somewhere. How many people moved to New Hampshire in the 2004?
Yeah, no.
Find people who are doing activism that's nice and support them.
Maybe I'll make a Liberty Me account after this. Maybe I'll jump on that bandwagon and see how it goes.
Should have been .com.org.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
It's .me.
Yeah, I thought, yes, Liberty.me.
Liberty.me.
Yeah, it's Liberty Me. Yeah. Any other questions?
for those of us that work in mainstream media, how can we then work within those confines?
How do you work in mainstream media?
I'm a reporter for a radio.
Oh. What can you do to help us?
Yeah.
Talk about us on your radio show or a radio station.
It's difficult when you can't bring stuff up like that, or like if the words that you're trying to use, you get called on being biased and whatnot. It's quite difficult. So being able to put in those words, like I still put in words if I'm saying, X amount of something dollars, it's X amount of tax dollars. If it's something going to a corporation or if it's going to a company, it's a subsidy. I use those words. But it's very difficult to also find the stories within the communities as well. But it's just other ways that we can spread that message.
If you're going to be a journalist, I understand you don't want to be biased. You can just tell what's going on. Like my thing is that I am biased. I'm trying to get people to move it. You can just say like, hey, this stuff happened in this city, and there's like this activism that happened here, or like talk about how this business is accepting Bitcoin or something.
Yeah, I did that when we had a Bitcoin ATM come to our city.
Yes. Though unfortunately, why is there not a Bitcoin ATM in Manchester? You're in the Bitcoin community.
It's not cost effective. Besides,
It's not cost effective?
well, besides, everyone takes Bitcoin, so like the need for a standalone machine to do the transactions is less relevant if people in the community are willing.
I would use it every payday.
Oh, okay, well,
Get on it.
I don't know. I don't run the Quill. I don't know.
I know you don't run the Quill. I'm just saying there should be one there or somewhere in Manchester. Maybe at Murphy's Tap or something like that. There should be one.
Have you seen it?
Yeah. That's it. I got nothing else. I want to ask something.
Yo. Peace.
If you think of something else, just go ahead and ask him.